Today's video is something a little different. We're going to be painting ornaments. I got all of these at Michael's last year or possibly the year before. They are a seasonal item that they always have in stock during the Christmas season, and I thought it would be fun to use some of these as Halloween ornaments to paint them for this upcoming Halloween. If you're new here, my name is Jen Fetzer and I love to paint. I'm going to start off with these wooden ornaments, and I have a clear gesso that I'm going to put on top of the wood. This is because when you paint on wood, it does absorb a lot of the paint. So when you create a gesso layer, you don't have to use quite as much paint. You can paint directly on the wood if you want, but since wood is porous, you will need a lot more paint than you would with the gesso on top. I'm going to be using Liquitex acrylic gouache. You can use any type of acrylic paint that you have. Any will work for this project. I'm going to just put a simple base layer down on the background of this ghost. I am going to eventually turn this into a galaxy, but I want to put one simple layer of paint down just so when I do paint the second layer, there's no gaps in coverage. That sounds like a health insurance term because it is. But I want the same thing on my wood. I want it to be completely covered and no layers of the wood showing through. And I paint the back of it as well. I thought I was so smart for using this little tape to hold it. I painted both the front and the back without drying either of them, and obviously couldn't set it down then. And I'm simply going to repeat the same process. I'm going to use a different colorway on this ornament. So I'm going to have a more bluish background. So I went with a purple back color. Also because I have a lot of this purple on hand right now. I did luck into finding some of these acrylic gouache on sale at Michael's over the summer for only $3 each. And normally they're about $10.99 to $12.99, something like that, depending on the color. So yeah, I was really excited about that bargain. I am not affiliated with Michael's, by the way. I should probably state that. They're just the closest art store and craft store to me. I have one located 15 minutes away and then another one located in the opposite direction, another 15 minutes. So it's just a matter of convenience. That's why I go to them a lot. And they have a lot of sales, which I like. To paint the mini galaxies on the background, you do want to start out with all of your paint that you're going to be using on your palette and some water nearby and a couple different paint brushes. It is a quick process. You need to kind of hurry through it before your paint dries. That's usually my struggle since I'm in a room that is just all windows essentially. A lot of the times my acrylic paint will dry really quick. You can always spritz it with a little bit of water to keep it from drying out, and that will happen. However, I would never spritz directly on a wooden ornament. That can cause the wood to split, but you can spritz the paint itself. So you just want to quickly blend through the lighter colors into the darker colors as quick as you're able. And galaxies are one of those things where it doesn't need to look perfect. It just needs to be done. You are going to add in a bunch of stars and stuff later on. And once you do, you don't really see the details in the background that much because of the little splatters everywhere. So don't overthink the process of making a little galaxy painting. You essentially need 3 or more colors, and you want to have darks and light colors, and you just sort of blend them together. Here I'm using a dry brush to give a little more blending detail. This one I'm going to be more sort of chaotic with it. As you can see, I'm just putting large globs of color in, and I'm going to go back and mix these all together once I have my large sections of colors mixed in. I'm going to quickly go through now and just kind of blend everything softly together. This paint is still wet and moving quite quickly. I'm going to blend it together. Every now and again, I need to get my paintbrush wet with a little bit of water or additional paint to keep the nice consistency of blending even. There you go. I just added some water to that and it smoothed it out really nicely. This is supposed to be a fun and relaxing process, so do have fun with it. Don't overthink it and just have a good time. I'm just going through and adding a little bit more white. You do want to add in the white in some areas just to give the galaxy sort of feel to it. And I'm about to also add in the stars. I'm using a soft bristle toothbrush for this. The larger the bristle, the bigger the stars you get, I think. So a soft bristle gives you like really soft little clusters of stars. You can see it more on the dark blue ornament. Once these are hanging, you will see the back. Oh, and I smooth out the area that the ghosts are just in case there's any splatters. That way there's not little bumps and textures later on. But I did do the backs as well, just because ornaments sometimes flip when you have them on a tree. And here is Lily. She loves to sit under my chair when I'm doing art, and it makes it so hard to get up and move from my desk whenever she's around. I'm going to go ahead and use this pale lavender color by Holbein Gouache. One of my favorite things about using the Holbein acrylic gouache is sometimes you only need one coat of the paint. Their opacity is so amazing. However, as you saw, it was a tiny tube of paint that did cost about $10 for that one tube. So it's definitely worth it, but you know, it's an expensive paint for sure. If you're on a budget, the folk paint in the craft section at the store works really well. You just need a couple more layers, usually about 3 or 4 depending on the color. This ornament is a ceramic cat, and as you can see, it pretty much has all the areas outlined of what you can color them. I just did a solid black for a Halloween cat, and I'm eventually going to paint an orange collar for them as well. I think this one would make a great idea for a toddler. Everything is pretty straightforward on where you paint, and it's just one of those simple little projects. No matter how you paint this, if you do it in rainbow colors or just finger paint it, it's gonna still look like a cat because of the shape. So that makes it nice, fun, and easy. And that's one of the reasons why I love each year there's different ornaments that you can get at the store, and they always have something new that's unique. For the last 2 ornaments, I'm going to be doing nostalgic, although you can still get these in the store, so does that term still apply? Pillsbury Doughboy cookies. They always have these themed seasonal cookies, sugar cookies. To make the color around the edge the creamish color, I just use a tiny dot of the darker yellow that I have, or brighter yellow, it's like a sunflower yellow, and a glob of white. You just need like the tiniest bit of yellow to mix with white, and you'll get a nice, beautiful cream color like this. Oh, if you're still watching and you're enjoying the video, if you could please give this a thumbs up, that really helps my small channel grow, and I'd really appreciate it. I think these end up being my favorite little ornaments out of the batch. I just think they're so adorable. I kind of hope that I don't sell them at my upcoming art market and that I get to keep them for my own tree. Maybe I need to see if they have these ornaments out yet at the store and I can get some more and make my own. Bright purple, in my opinion, is one of the hardest colors to mix. So I love to use a pre-made color when I can for something as vibrant and also dark as this. As you can see, it is a dark purple, but it's still very vibrant. It has a lot of pigmentation in it. So I'm again using a Holbein gouache. This is D111 and it's violet is the color. And I use this one a lot. I think I've gone through this tube probably 3 times now. Some other similar options that you could do on here would be the pumpkin pails from McDonald's. Those are also very iconic and people love that sort of scene. I think they have like a witch face, a ghost face, a little monster. They have a whole bunch of different ones, and they would also be really easy to do and recognizable. Here is the second one. This is the little jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, and I think he's so cute. This is honestly kind of making me hungry for cookies too while I'm watching this paint. This is how long it actually takes to paint. I'm about to speed it up in just a second, but it is a process. It's probably going to take you maybe close to an hour for each ornament unless you're a really experienced painter, and then maybe it'll take you 40 minutes each, but do expect it to take some time. And in between the layers, I do paint probably some layers 2, maybe 3 times, like the cream I did at least 2 times. I also use a hairdryer in between. You don't see it in the video because I guess I didn't film it. That's the reason why. But I do use a hairdryer to speed things up, which you can as well. I use a low setting on the hairdryer because wood can sometimes split, and I didn't want the heat to be too hot and cause the wood to split. So I use the low setting. I recommend doing that. Here we have the final shots of the painted ornaments. This was 5 different designs. If you would like to see other or different designs, let me know in the comments and I will add another Halloween ornament video to the repertoire. If you really enjoyed this video, thanks so much for watching. And like I said earlier, if you don't mind giving a thumbs up, that helps my channel grow so much. And of course, we have the very simple and adorable little kitty cat. And I have a little bonus item, a candy corn candy cane themed item I painted off scene. Alright guys, I'll see you next week in the next video. Bye for now.